Hello students of class 11 and 12 CBSE Computer Science with Python. Welcome to TechBox 247. Hope all are doing good and studying well for your board examinations. So in this video we are going to start Python revision tool 1 from the scratch. So come on, let us move on to the video quickly. So let us move on to the next part of the video, that is tokens. So tokens in Python. So tokens are nothing but the smallest unit in Python. Okay. So this is called as the smallest individual unit in a Python program. That is called as a tokens. So we have 5 types of tokens. One is keyword, second one is identifiers and literals, operators and punctuators. So we have 5 types of tokens and you should know all these things keenly before doing the program in Python. Let us move on to each type of tokens in briefly. So keywords are called as reserved words. So what is the first type of token? Our first type of token is the keyword. Now we are going to see that keyword. So keywords are nothing but the reserved words in Python. What is the term means reserved words? It is already inbuilt. Okay. It is inbuilt in Python interpreter. So the word which is having the special meaning in the programming language. So the keywords are the words which is having the special meaning in the programming language. So what it is used? It is used to define the syntax or a structure of a Python language. So keywords are used to define the syntax or a structure of the Python language, and the keywords are case sensitive. Okay, so we are having totally 35 keywords. We are having 35 keywords in Python. See the last line. So we are having totally 35 keywords in Python. So we can get this 35 total keywords by using this code, import keyword. Then you are going to write keyword.kw list. Then you are going to print of keyword.kw list. So by using these 3 statements, you can get the 35 keywords in your Python interpreter. Okay. So all the keywords except true, false and none are in lowercase. Okay. So in true, we are having the first letter T as true, T as capital. And in the false, we are having F as capital. And in the none keyword, we are having capital N in the start. Okay. Then all the other things like if, else, while, for, all these things are the keywords which is not having the capital letter in the starting. Okay. I will show you the keywords list now. So just write import keyword. After that we are going to write keyword by using the keyword which we have imported, and we are going to import the KW list. Keyword.kw list. So, okay, without doing the print function also, it is delivering you the answer. So this is the total number of keywords which is available in the Python. You can count and see there might be totally 35 keywords are displaying here. Okay. Hope you all understand what is meant by the keywords. Let us move on to the next slide. That is identifiers. So we are having the second type of tokens as identifiers. So identifiers are the names given to different parts of the programs like class, functions and variables. For writing the function names and for writing any variables and the class names, we are using the identifiers. So these identifiers are just the names which is given to different parts of the programs. So it helps to differentiate one entity from another. So what it means, So it can be able to differentiate from A to B. Yes, if we are having A is equal to 2 and B is equal to 3, then A and B are your identifiers. That is a variables. Okay, these are the variable names. It means that B contains 3 and A contains 2. So it helps us to differentiate the entity from one another, right? So the combinations of letters in lowercase small a to small z, or the uppercase letters capital A to capital Z, or the digits from 0 to 9, or an underscore for only one underscore is only allowed in the identifiers. No other special symbols are allowed in the identifiers. Okay. Example, my class. So in my class, M is starting in the lowercase letter. The next is VAR_1. So in this case, it is a valid identifier as because we are starting that in the smaller case letters. Okay, so the uppercase letter also it can be started, but you should use only the underscore. No other special symbols are allowed. Then rate_interest. So this is also a valid identifiers. An identifier cannot start with a digit. So you cannot start with a digit. Okay, see the example 3 variable. So here the 3 is getting started. The identifier is starting with 3. So it means that this is an invalid identifier. How to write it valid? So you should write like this. Variable 3. Okay, you can write variable. After that you can write as number 3, which is a valid name. So the next one, we cannot use special symbols like these and all in our identifier sections and other than the underscore. So keywords cannot be used as an identifiers. So just before we have saw the keywords as a first type of tokens. So the keywords we have studied that we are having totally 35 number of keywords, which is your reserved words, in Python. So these keywords particularly will not be used under the identifiers. And identifiers can be of any length. We can write the identifier of any length, but one small rule. So how to write the identifier of any length? So it should be separated by using the underscore like this. So this is a long variable. So it means that the identifier can be separated by using the underscore like this. So then it is a valid identifier. Hope you all understand. Let us move on to the literals. So data items that have a fixed value is known as a literals. So the data items which is having the fixed value. Okay. So there are several type of literals in Python. One is string literal, second one is numeric literal, boolean literal, and none. So let us see all those things one by one. We know the string literals. What is mean by string? String is nothing but the character or a number which should be enclosed within the quotation marks. Suppose if I am writing the word string, so it should be covered with the quotation marks. So if you are writing any number 46, then it is considered as a string when it is enclosed within the quotation marks. So it is considered as a string only, but we have written the number. When the number is enclosed within the double quotation marks, then it is considered as a string. Okay, string is a sequence of characters surrounded by a quotes called string literals. Understand? So we can use single quotes, double quotes, or a triple quotes for a string. All the time we will be using the double quotes or a single quotes only. See the example. Strings is equal to this is Python. That's we have written the string literal. And if you are writing only one character in the string, then it is called as a character literal. Then multi-line string literal means if you are having more than one line of code, you are writing multi-line literal, then it is called as a multi-line. Okay. So the second part is your numeric. So the numeric is nothing but the numbers. So the name itself we can identify that the numbers are the numeric literals. So numbers are what we cannot change it. So numeric literals are immutable. Immutable means we cannot change the numeric literals in place. it belongs to three different numerical types. So we have three numerical literals. One is integer, second one is float, and the third one is the complex literals. See the example. For the integer, I have given I is equal to 67. So what is the type of this I? We have initialized I with 67, which is your integer data type. So when we are checking with the type of I, we have the option of checking the type of the variable by using the function called type function. So by using this type function, we can check what is the type of the particular variable. So here the variable I have specified here. So already in I we have 67. So it is what? It is bounded to integer data type. So it is delivering you the answer as class int. Second example, f is equal to 67.56, which is your floating point number. Trying to check the type of f, then we are having the answer as class float. The next is third example, which is your complex type. So we have saw the integer type and we have saw the float type. Now we are in the complex example. C is equal to 5 plus 9.8j. So under the complex type, we have one real part and we have another thing, that is your imaginary part. Yes, so under the real part we are having 5 and under the imaginary part we are having 9.8. So when we are trying to check type of C, so we'll be having the answer as class complex. Okay, when we are trying to print that C variable, so it will be printing like this. In the bracket, the value which we have initialized will be getting printed. Hope you all understand. So let us move on to the next type of literals called Boolean literals. So you know already you have studied the Boolean numbers in the mathematics from the class 9 and 10. So Boolean is nothing but zeros and ones. Okay, for 0 is representing the false, and 1 is representing the true. So it has two values, one is 1 and another one is 0. So 1 is considered as true and 0 is considered as false here. Okay. So the next type of the literals are special literals. So in Python we have only one special literals called as none. Okay, that none, n should be in capital letter. True, false and none, in all the letters will be starting with capital letters. So it is used to specify that the field has not been created. Okay, so it means that the food, drink is equal to available, but food it is none. That means that the field food has not been created. Okay. Let us see the advantages of Python. So it is easy to use. Okay, it is easy to use. It means that it is compact, easy to use, and it is programmer friendly language which has simple syntax rules. Okay, so expressive syntax is your second advantage. It means that we have very few lines of codes with simple syntax. And interpreted language, I have already said you, interpreted means interprets the code line by line at a time, and it makes the Python an easy to debug language and suitable for beginners to advanced users. So the next one is completeness. So no need to download and install additional libraries. So we have all the functionality, that means the required functionality is available in the various modules. We have many modules in the Python. Under the modules we have all the functions. You can use that functions from the modules. Okay, for example, if you are using, we have math module in Python. For using the math module, under the math module we have many functions. Okay, we can use the functions from the math function. Okay, we have many functions under the math module. So cross-platform language, it means that Python can run equally well on variety of platforms like Windows, Linux, Unix and Macintosh. So the next type of advantages, it is free and open source. So it is mean that freely available without any cost. Okay, and its source code is also freely available everywhere. So the next is applications. So we are using the Python for scripting, gaming applications, graphical user interface programs, and database applications and web applications, etc. etc. So let us see the disadvantages of Python. So though it has many advantages, it also has some disadvantages. So the first disadvantage is it is not the fastest language. When it is compared with C and C++, Python is not the fastest as that language. So Python is interpreted and it is not a compiled language. It means that it is not executing the full program at a time. As because it is executing the code line by line, it makes the execution time longer than the compiled language like C and C++. The next disadvantage is it has lesser libraries than C, Java and Perl. So still we have many libraries. Python offers library support for almost all computing programs, but its library is still not competent with C, Java and Perl. So we have many supportive library functions. Then also it is not competitive or equal to that C, Perl and Java. Okay, so it's not strong on type binding. The Python is not strong on type binding. Okay, so the Python interpreter is not very strong on catching type mismatch issues. For example, if I am writing A is equal to 20 and B is equal to, I'm going to write 11.5. Okay, when you are trying to add this A plus B, so what will be the answer? 20 plus 11.5. What it means? What is 20 plus 11.5? It will be adding like this: 5, 1, 31.5. So one is your integer data type and another one is your floating point data type, and your answer will be 31.5 only. Okay, so this is called as type mismatching issues. It is not very strong on that. Suppose if I am giving the value of A at first is 10, and again now I am going to consider the A as a string variable. Okay, so now the A has been currently changed to this str. Okay, it is bounded to string. At the first, A has been bounded to integer data type, and on the second, A has been bounded to the string data type. So it is not that much strong on catching the mismatch, type mismatch issues. And it is also called as what? Dynamic, and it is the flexibility also. It is called as flexibility in Python to have the statements like this. And it is not easily convertible language, as because we cannot able to convert that Python language to any other language. Hope you all understand the video completely, and you should revise all those things and the smaller concepts, the definition parts in Python revision tour 1. So let us see on the next video. Until then, study well. Thank you.